Trevor and Simon, for welcoming me today and giving me an opportunity to share our experiences of this fantastic tool. For those of you that don't know me, I've been at Norwich City for 4 years now. Previous employment was in schools, senior leaders in both primary and secondary education. And I also was involved with the first full-time programme at Norwich City as assistant principal at a previous high school. So I've been on both sides of the fence, and I understand how this can be used to help performance and drive up standards across the clubs. I think the first thing that attracted me to Steer Global when I first got shown it was how proactive it was, and what a massive proactive tool it could be for highlighting pastoral needs of players. And what we're looking at today is just looking at how we've used it at Norwich, to what benefits we've found from it at Norwich, and how we're looking and the strategies that we're going to look to drive it forwards. So as I said, I think it's a fantastic tool, and it was a frustration of mine whilst in education that we seem to react to pastoral needs too late, and this tool can highlight the pastoral needs that individuals and young people need before they become huge, and then we can work together to make sure that they are improved. Next slide, please, Trevor. And one more click. Okay, so thinking of audit in mind, and what we're looking, I'm going to go through how we use it at Norwich and what benefits we get from that. So first of all, it does give the players a voice. It gives them an opportunity to share how they're feeling without knowing that they're giving a voice about how they're feeling. So the questions are really well designed to allow the players to share what they're feeling, both inside and outside of the academy. So we've invested in, or we use both tools, so we know that how they're feeling outside our walls as well as inside. And they don't really know what they're answering, so they can give a real good indication of their program, a real good indication of what's going on in their lives. So player voice is something that we've recognised that this tool can use and can support us when we're sort of going through audit and supporting the young people. Next click, please. Our safeguarding team use this. I don't know why that's gone on to blue, but our safeguarding team use this data really well, and Trevor has spoken to both our head of safeguarding across the club and safeguarding within the academy, head of safeguarding in the academy, and they use the data again as a proactive tool. It highlights any potential concerns within the young people that we're working with, both inside and outside the academy, and it just gives them a bit of an overview about how the cohort are feeling. We made a decision to just jump in with this, and we work with all of our under 9s all the way up to our under 18s with this program. They take the questionnaire 3 times a season. It takes about maximum of 10 minutes for the players. A lot of them do it in a lot shorter time, and as they become more used to it, it becomes quicker for them to access. So it's a really short, sharp, but it gives us really good detail. So our safeguarding team utilize the data and work proactively with the young people. Next one, please. Again, while we're on the call, and why we felt as a club and as an academy to sort of invest in our time and resources in this, was the emotional well-being of the young people. Our player care department again scrutinised the data, and what Trevor did some fantastic sessions with us as a multidisciplinary team, but the player care team, as he mentioned, that Carrie's taken it with her to Chelsea, and a new player care department now. They look at the data and they look at trends, and we're starting to use it at more readily at transition points now. So we're hopefully going to use this tool, use Steer, to, if a player is released or their journey ends with us, can we still use Steer Global to see how they're getting on outside once the support from the academy has stopped within the building, how are they feeling after that, and for up to 3 years after that. So this tool can be used with the recommendations in mind that every young person should be, in fact, for 3 years after they've been released from an academy. We feel this tool can be used for that if players and parents are willing to carry on. What we found that it gives a real pastoral baseline. So the data we get from each individual, each round of each cohort, each individual set of data gives us a pastoral baseline, which we haven't really had before. It's how the players are feeling, and it's difficult to get within education, within a club, about what they're feeling and what how their well-being is. And in education, you can get a baseline of how well they're doing academically, but that's the biggest benefit for us, is we've got this baseline now, and then we can respond as a multidisciplinary team, as professionals working with young people, to build and increase the emotional support that the players from under 9 to under 18 can get. MDT discussions then occur, and for me, that's the so what question. Throughout my sort of teaching career and career at Norwich, we always sort of say now, so what we've got this data, so what we understand that the under 9s are feeling this, or this individual is feeling this. If we didn't have those MDT discussions and we didn't buy in as a group about what the players need, then the data is almost irrelevant. If it's just one person within the academy saying, oh, these persons are like these individuals are feeling this, or this group are feeling this, without the MDT discussions and without the MDT interventions, the data's not there. So we talk through the data, we highlight any priority pupils, and we discuss strategies around what we can do with them. And what I've found in the action planning for using this tool is very, very simple to use, and it's very simple to implement. And for instance, we had a player who had a very high trust of others, and we decided as a multidisciplinary team within the academy, had a very high trust of others within the multidisciplinary team, that we would ask, what do you think? So every professional, every adult he worked with during the time he was there, so the sports science team, the coaching team, up in education, player care, the question was, what do you think? That's a very simple intervention for that young person to experience. And if everybody's using the same language with him, that the trust of others dropped, but not to a negative level, but it dropped to a more healthy level. And because he was being asked, what do you think, and he was having to respond, that was a really good positive outcome for that individual. There was another case study of a young player in under 14 who had a really low self-disclosure score at the start of under 14 level. We picked that up really quickly. Conversations with parents, conversations with schools about what the young person was like. He was on the verge at that point of being released from the academy. Following the conversations with parents, with schools, we were able to ascertain that he struggles with change. Really difficult struggle with change. So having new coaches, starting a new season, starting again effectively, and his attitude towards his peers was quite negative. So we put a strategy in place where everybody within the building would ensure that he was given opportunity to work with others. The coaches took a little bit of time to get their arm around him at the end of every session and say, how's it going? Are you okay? To give him that opportunity to speak to the coaches. And as the season went on, his self-disclosure, we could see a really good improvement in his self-disclosure, went from very low to a healthy level by the end of the season. So it just shows that the program is working, and the learning environment, as number 5 states there, the learning environment that these young people are getting is really good. And as Trevor said within his presentation, it does highlight and enables me to speak to the coaches about what they're doing, because majority of the time they're obviously with the coaches. It's a really good learning environment, and it's really important that they understand that, and the young people understand what we're doing. And then the final one is curriculum design. So what we're looking at now is if we've got, as Simon mentioned about the Year 9 girls in his school, if we've got a group of individuals, or we've got a group of a certain squad that are displaying positive polar low or polar high in any of the 4 areas, we can look at our life skills program and make it more bespoke to them, so that they get that intervention and that support that they need. So it's a real good wraparound tool to enable every person within the multidisciplinary team to have discussions with the young person at the centre of that, centre of the intervention, at the centre of everything that we kind of do. So we've found it invaluable. We've been using it for 3 years now. So some of our players have got 9 sets of data, and it's been really interesting to track how they have responded to the interventions that we've put in place, and how they are moving through the academy and the outside the academy as well. So thank you very much for inviting me, Simon and Trevor.
Thank you, Matt. That was a fantastic insight into how it looks in actuality in a successful sports academy. So thank you so much for your input and adding that authenticity. We really appreciate that. In a previous life, I was a school inspector, and I know that not only schools but sports academies have to ensure that they address certain key safeguarding documents. And I know that and Matt would be able to tell you this, that using steer data is very useful in helping to address some of those key criteria that you're asked to meet by safeguarding auditors or whoever it may be that is in charge of that in your association or governing body. Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. We're an organisation with a real soul. All of us are ex-educationalists. We do this for the love of young people, and as the mission statement said, to do all we can to address the mental health and wellbeing issue across the UK and beyond. Also, we're a commercial organisation, and therefore we do charge for this. And because we're open, we'd like to share that cost with you straight away. We charge £2,500 per academy, plus a training cost on that, plus VAT. We are aware that a lot of you are relying on funding from your associations or governing bodies or overarching organisations.
Simon, sorry, the screen isn't sharing now. I don't know if I can't see the slides.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sorry.
Understood. That is our £2,500 is our category 1 price. We are prepared to have conversations with any academies who have a different categorisation or any other contextual information that would help us come with an appropriate and fair price. So the last part of the session is for any questions to be asked, Q&A. We've had one already, which is from Christian Davis, which I'll share with you. Asked, how often do you assess and then review the level of impact of the action plan? I think Matt referenced this. We recommend to our schools and our academies at least twice, if not 3 times a year or season. The data can be reviewed each time. As part of the training that you'll get to help you launch, embed and culturalize this, you'll get help to analyze the data in the first year, and that can be done after each data round. We believe that is the right cadence to allow time for any action plans or interventions to take effect and to be able to measure that impact. So that's answers that question. I think we've got one more in the box. No, that's Simon Walker, who's our founder, answering the same question.
Can I add on that, Simon? Sorry, that we do it 3 times a year at Norwich, but we found that putting the intervention in place as soon as close to that intervention, or that as close to a questionnaire as possible, has had the most positive effects. We've tried sending it out to players who do it at school, or how to do it at home, and then it's delayed the response coming back in. So we do it within the academy now. We find 10 minutes 3 times a season to get the questionnaire done, and then we meet as an MDT the week after and discuss what we've seen. So it's really fresh and it's really relevant, and that's what we found has had the biggest impact.
That's a great point, Matt. Thank you, because I appreciate the academies don't have the children all the time. So I'm just looking at the question and answer box. I can't see any questions coming in at the moment. If you do have a question, then now's your time to ask by clicking on the Q&A box. If not, it just remains for me to thank all of you who attended. We've had a great number of attendants. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you've got busy lives. Thank you very much to Matt for his time and speaking so positively about the tool, and to Trevor for his input on the data. We hope it's been of some value to you. A question has just come in from Carol Baker. Do you limit the number of people per academy? No, the price that I've quoted is for your entire academy. So if there's no further questions, have a great weekend when it comes. Thank you for your attendance. We will follow up this with an email. A PowerPoint will be sent to you with all the links as well, and we will send you a recording if you arrive late or if one of your colleagues wasn't able to attend and you want to share it. Thanks very much and goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.